يس قدام. تعال شوفكم تحموا شوي ايدينا فوق مع الدربكة. لحظة لا لسه عدد أكثر فوليوم، خلينا نستحمى شوي. هلا مع الدربكة انتي والما اروح بشوف احنا عايشين ورا سجون البنود اللي ساجنيننا، ما يتغير مش حاسين ولا نور الاسياج منها احنا شايفين سما. لونها ازرق غير ما ابيض بنص شمال زكرات كتاب خياط. انا صامد عايش متفائل، ما تعزل من الامل بيجي ضرب عسل. ولو السود انا برضو فلسطين لحبل.
Venezuelan ambassador, and it reads as follows. On behalf of the government and people of Venezuela, I would like to express my solidarity with the Palestinian people in their struggle for national liberation, justice and peace. In Venezuela, we were appalled by the bombardment of Gaza in the winter of 2008 and 2009 and expelled the Israeli ambassador in response. We also strongly condemned the attack on the Gaza Freedom Flotilla by the Israeli Defense Forces, in which 9 civilians were killed. Our strong support for the Palestinian people has led to a number of false claims being made about Venezuela by those who oppose an end to the occupation. Even for providing the use of this building today, for this meeting, some press articles have labeled us as celebrating terrorism. I wish to reject this claim absolutely. Venezuela does not support terrorism anywhere in the world. We support peace and justice across the world. International solidarity is one of the cornerstones of the Bolivarian revolution in Venezuela, and it is my sincere hope that the oppression suffered by our brothers and sisters in Palestine will one day be replaced by a just solution that sees an end to Israel's illegal occupation in accordance with international law. Samuel Moncada, Venezuelan ambassador. Thank you very much.
Website, and this series of events to commemorate and explore the Intifada is the second in a series of 6 events to commemorate and explore the issues and ramifications and the impact of the Intifada. The first of which was on 2nd of October, a month ago, in Ladbroke Grove, where we had an incredible event. There was over 300 people, dozens couldn't get into the event. We had a film screening of Not in Our Name, the filmmaker of which is here, Gabriel Tyranny, which went down really well. We had a really interesting panel which debated internationalism and solidarity with Palestine. And then we had an evening of cultural performances, including Gaza Gaza Team, Shadi Mansour, Loki, MC Nex, and a few other artists. It was an incredible event. This event is very different, as you can see. We have, the deadline for us to shut off is 8:30 p.m. So we've got around 2 hours to listen to the speakers and then to have a debate amongst ourselves. The next event, we haven't confirmed the date, but it will be at SOAS. Lizzie Cocker, who's an independent journalist, will be chairing that event, will be the event organizer, and it will focus on how the Intifada was reported in the regional media, in the Arab Middle East, but also in the international media, especially in the Western media. So that's going to explore those ideas. Now, like the first event, and like this event, and like every subsequent event, this is not, let me repeat, this is not your run-of-the-mill type of Palestine solidarity event. And why is that? The reason is because we're trying to challenge the debate. We who've organized, the organizers of this meeting, we don't want to feel complacent about where the solidarity movement is. We want to challenge ourselves, we want to challenge you, and we want to reason with each other, and we want to find more positive, more effective ways forward. Of course, I should also say that a big thank you to our brothers and sisters at Bolivarian Venezuelan Embassy in London for allowing us to use this space and kind of hosting the event. So we appreciate that. The title of this event is the eruption of the Intifada, turning back the empire. And what I challenge people, and I discuss with people, is have you ever considered that the second or Al-Aqsa Intifada actually started the big push back against US hegemony? And to put this into some historical context before we go to the speakers, the basic argument is this. In 1990-1991, Western hegemony had a big victory with the collapse of the Soviet Union and relatedly, the collapse of the Third World assertiveness and confidence. The 1990s was a decade where George Bush the father declared the New World Order, where Francis Fukuyama declared the end of history, that neoliberalism was the end of humanity's struggle and path, and we are lumped with a Western-style democracy, Western domination, Western type of economics. So the 90s really saw the deep economic penetration of US hegemony, and at the same time, the message with the New World Order, with the first attack on Iraq in 1990-91, was that this is what will happen if any third world country stands up to us, i.e. then the West. Interestingly, in the Latin American context, I think it was by the end of the 90s that Chavez became president of Venezuela. And soon what followed after that was a whole number of left nationalist and progressive presidents in Latin America. We have to think, what happened in the 1990s in Latin America? America has always considered, the US I should say, has considered Latin America its backyard. So, you know, it was only just a few years ago that they were sponsoring and supporting death squads which were killing tens of thousands of people all across Latin America. So what happened in the 1990s? That it seems the Americans kind of took their eye off the ball in a sense. So the 1990s in Latin America was a great development, and you know, there was forces at play which brought to fruition these progressive presidents. So the argument is this, is that Iraq especially, and perhaps even more importantly, the Palestinian struggle, the Americans, because of their security issues and because of the natural resources, they focused on that region in particular. In so doing, they allowed everyone else in the world to develop. Because here was the US hegemony and the Allies, focused very much in conducting genocide and terrible crimes against humanity, against the people of Iraq and Palestine especially, while the rest of the world were developing. And then what happened with the big push with the war on terror, so-called, with the attacks on Afghanistan and Iraq, was that the West found themselves bogged down even more strategically. And what the argument here is that the start of the Second Intifada was the first real rallying call of the world anti-imperialist resistance, not only to fight back US hegemony and Western hegemony and white supremacy and the empire in general, but not only to fight it back, but to defeat it. And so what I'm putting to you, that the US hegemony is actually in strategic defeat today. And this is something which all the Third World ascendants leadership will concur with and will agree with. So we're going to explore these things a little bit more. Unfortunately, for technical reasons, we aren't able to actually, we weren't able to put together the video statement from Leila Khaled, which is a shame, but you will be able to find that statement on the Sons of Mountain website. Leila had just come back from Honduras just a week ago, and now she's
struggle against the Vietnam War, and to the extent that eventually what was most essential to take out with you every morning wasn't sort of your books and pens, etc. It was a carrier bag with a red cloth in there, so you could put it in front of your mouth. When tear gases are thrown on the campus, and you had to run between lectures to lectures, you know. So, and it was quite a defining moment. And actually, I have to say that my activism started from that time, and that standing up for justice is a very important factor. But I think the most important factor of this type of the struggle is recognizing what is justice. Studying it, finding out what's going on. Don't listen to mass media the way that is sort of trying to brainwash the whole society. You know, it's not just over the issue of Palestinian struggle, which we get all all the sort of things that we are getting, but it's happened in the whole history of mankind. This sort of spinning by the mass media, of course, is more effective now. We can't even get away from it. But coming back to sort of the issue of Intifada, I think if you put the issue of Intifada into... It's interesting because we actually started something last year, and we're going to have another function of a genocide memorial, which is going to be held on the anniversary of Gaza. And this year will be on the 16th of January. What we do in that program, we remember all genocide, all man's inhumanity to man, which includes complete destruction of and killing of just almost 98% of indigenous American population in the United States. And indeed what happened in South America, what happened in Hiroshima, Nagasaki, go on, what happened in India, indeed, it goes on and on and on. Those, all of them, including what happened by Nazis, needs to be remembered altogether. And I think some function like that is a way of actually recognition of all these injustices, and I think we should remember them, and we should need to have solidarity with all.
Thanks, Mr. Another question?